We back. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's a lot to talk about. Talk about that pathetic effort by the Cowboys vs. Detroit Lions last night on Thursday Night Football. We're gonna talk a little hoop talk. Talk about the NBA. We're gonna talk about some Con Canupu and how he's been balling. We're also gonna talk about how Franz is the best player on the Magic. As why is y'all trying to keep it under the rug? But we got a great show. Great show. A lot to talk about. A lot to get into. So let's get to it. Let's talk about this Cowboys and Lions game, man. The Cowboys just got dominated on both ends. Offense, defense, middle fence, special teams. They just got dominated. Uh Jameer Gibbs is number 2 all time of scoring the most touchdowns at the age of 24. So he had a historical game. He had a hat trick. He ran for 3 touchdowns. They had no, they could not guard Jameer Gibbs at all. Jameer Gibbs was just running around all over them. Off of 7 targets, 7 receptions, he ran 77 yards. And when we look at this, these linebackers on the Cowboys was mucho caliente basura. All right, there we go. See him coming out the backfield. Excuse me, good sir. Pardon me. Excuse me. Excuse me. He's got up all up in the second level. Cowboys defense. Cowboys linebackers can't cover. It is what it is. We just gonna have to be honest. They were just too slow. Jamar Gibbs was too fast for them. He was moving around the field. He was basically a receiver this game. Jameer Gibbs was a receiver. Um, the Parlay Mafia decided to announce that at the last minute. Look at this. The Parlay Mafia decided to announce at the last second that Amon-Ra St. Brown was going to play after he was questionable and basically out. So all of a sudden they said last night, oh, he's going to play. Again, he's coming out the backfield. Like covering the flats, of course, and he just gets some yards. There was one play. Let me see if we're gonna find this play. There he is. Line up as a receiver again. Excuse me. Jamar Gibbs, open space. This zone defense they were running, Jamar Gibbs was exploiting. He was finding all the holes in his zone defense, and Jared Goff was finding him. Whether he was coming out the backfield and lined up as a receiver, Dallas Cowboys linebackers couldn't do anything. They were lost, confused, perplexed. Hit him with a double move. Excuse me. Again, 18-yard gain. Jamar Gibbs is a very shifty back. I think he has a case between him and Bijan, who's the better back in the league. You go either or. I think Jamar Gibbs, oh my gosh, had that man go out of bounds. Whoo-wee. DeRon Bland flew out of bounds. Now we got to go back to that one. Now that was crazy. We're going to go back to that play real quick. Where is it at? Is it this one? Was it this play? Is this the play? Shook him out his boots. Let's see if I go. Is this the play? I'm going to slow this down a little bit. All right. DeRon Bland got shook out his boots. Oh my God, that juke flew out of bounds. Son juked him out his shoes. He said, you think I'll own this way? Try again. Whoop. Boy fell to his knees out of bounds, boy. That was nasty. That was filthy and disgusting. For you to shake a corner, and this is their number one corner, by the way, shook him out the boots. That man was eating the dirt, eating the sideline, boy. I tell you, he was eating the sideline. Crazy work. Got him right out his boots, man. But Jamar Gibbs was basically a receiver this game. He had over 100 and I think he had 122 all-purpose yards. Yeah. Again, Dave Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs both scored touchdowns once again. Now, CeeDee Lamb went out with a concussion in the second half. And instead of George Pickens stepping up to the plate, the number 2 being number 1, Ryan Flanoy decided to have a monster game. Dak was just targeting him. He had 115 yards and a touchdown. Ryan Flanoy. So if you bet on CeeDee Lamb to get a touchdown, George Pickens to get a touchdown, you were cooked and fried. If you bet the over for George Pickens yards, you were cooked and fried. If you bet CeeDee touchdown, you were cooked and fried. But there is one play from George Pickens in particular. George Pickens didn't step him the way I thought he would. That was also a big problem that the Cowboys were having. The Cowboys were getting dominated at every level. The Lions were just, quite frankly, more physical than them. They were getting the Dak, putting pressure on Dak. And the only time they run a man-heavy scheme, they decided to switch run a zone scheme. And with it being a zone-heavy scheme, Dak did not play his best game. This game was winnable for the Cowboys. The Cowboys should have won this, and this game basically sealed their fate. That's it for them. They're not making the playoffs. They're out the playoffs. They're cooked. They're done finito. Shout out to Dan Campbell. Being Dan Campbell called the offense looks better when he's calling the offense. The defense, shout out to the DC on the Lions because he's one heck of a DC defensive coordinator. Unfortunately, Teron Arnold went out. They said he teared his Achilles, so he's out for the season. The Lions is one of the most injury-riddled teams I've ever seen. It's out of hand. They always are leading the league in injuries some way, somehow. Crazy work. But yeah, it was just an ugly game. The Parlay Mafia had their hands off this game. Yeah. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. I got no vote for you guys today. Oh, this was the play that I was trying to find that I couldn't find, but I found it. I'm gonna show you guys real quick. This is the one the Parlay Mafia had their hands all over. That was weird. That was a weird glitch. Let's slow this playback speed a little bit. If you watch this play as it develops, this is a very catchable. Is this the play? No, this is not the play. That's the wrong play. George Pickens was talking crazy. We're going to get into that too. He's talking crazy to Richard Sherman. What's going on with the computer? All right, now the computer's tripping. We having technical difficulties, guys. Just give me 1 second to get all this. George Pickens had a lack of accurate problem. I thought he should have had. Been doing more than what he was doing. When he wasn't getting his targets, it seemed like he was upset, he was angry, he was annoyed. Which I get, I understand. But you're the number two. You didn't step up when you were supposed to. Okay, now I found it. It took me a while. Thanks for bearing with me, guys. Let me make this bigger. Now the Parlay Mafia had their hands all over this. Cause he didn't put no effort into catching or grabbing this ball. Pause. This ball was very catchable. Pause. If you look at it, he should have caught this ball. There ain't no ifs, ands, but about it. If he would have reached out, George Pickens could catch this ball. You see how close that ball is to him? He could have caught the ball. That ball was very catchable. And then if he caught the ball, it might have been a touchdown. I'm not going to lie. But he gave no effort. He basically quit on the play, and he just said, this was your time to sign, George Pickens. You're in a contract year. You can't be doing stuff like this. But we already know back from his days with the Steelers, with Pittsburgh, this is the things he does. He gets, and this was part of his scouting report. Luka selfish and they MFer. He does Luka magic with the ball, and now you see it. Now you see it, then you won't see it for 2 quarters. Who you talking about, Adam? Shout out to the 20 people that's in the live right now watching it. Make sure you sub to the channel, retweet, like the video, thumbs up, all that good stuff. But yeah, George Pickens could have caught that ball. Him not catching that ball was inexcusable. You're in a contract. Oh, you talking about Luka, Adam? Oh, we're going to get into Luka. Don't worry. I got something to say about him, too. But George Pickens could have caught that ball. That ball was very catchable. There's no excuse for him not to catch that ball. You're in a contract year. Understand. CeeDee Lamb goes out. This is time to shine. You're now the number one, my boy. It's time for you to take over this game. And you are not doing that. Of course, you're not going to get every target, every ball. But you had this attitude problem since back in your college days. It was on your scouting report. You become disengaged, nonchalant, lack of effort. These are things you do. And that's why the Steelers ultimately let you go, because they were tired of that. They didn't want to deal with that no more, which is completely understandable, and I feel them on that. But you got a whole new team. You're in a contract here. When teams are looking at you, you're basically nonchalant, no effort, disengaged. You think they're going to give you a big contract, George Pickens? Because this is a risk you run. If I give you a big contract, how do I know you're not going to do these things? So this game might have cost you big money and guaranteed money. Even a team who's desperate for your services might be like, are we really willing to put this up for him? Are we really willing to let it slide? Are we going to put up with this? Him being disengaged because he's not getting his targets? Ryan Floyd was the number one, basically, once CeeDee got hurt, which is crazy. Like, I thought you was going to be that guy, but you didn't step up and be that guy. Instead, Ryan Floyd stepped up and be that guy. Shout out to the 24 people that's in the live. That ball was catchable. All you had to do was dive, reach, extend your arms. You could have caught that ball, but clearly you didn't want to catch that ball. You had it on your mind. I ain't going to go catch that ball. I don't care. The ball was very catchable. Like, I don't. Hold on. Let me go about this. That ball is catchable. That's more than in his catch radius. And if you look, I think when you look, come on now, that was inexcusable, man. That was sad and pathetic. Shout out to 25 people that's in live right now. Like, George, you gotta be better than that, man. You are a number one wide receiver. Yeah, we understand that. We get that. You're one of the best wide receiver ones in the league. And then, like, You're a wide receiver one playing elite offense, having a career year, and that's what you do. Let's listen to what Richard Sherman had to say about the whole thing.
George Pickens throughout the game, especially late in the game, just looked uninterested in playing football. You know, and that's what you can't have. If you're going to be a superstar, if you want to be the best receiver in the National Football League, you can never be disengaged. It doesn't matter if the game's going your way or not going your way. You can't just disappear in these games or else you're not going to have impact. And just right here, cruising routes. You're the guy. You're the guy. CD Lamb is not in this game. He's out, and you get intercepted on your slant routes, and you can't be the guy and half-ass it. I'm sorry, that's just you can't. It's unacceptable. And if you're a Dallas Cowboys and you're looking at him, and you're looking to pay him big time receiver money, $40 million, you got to look at the tape and say, hey, is this a guy I trust paying $40 million to show up regardless of circumstance? I don't know.
Like Richard Sherman just said in that video, you can't be disengaged. You can't be nonchalant. You can't give no effort. You can't be out there lollygagging. You're that guy. CD Lamb unfortunately has a concussion. He leaves the game. You're the number two. Guess what? Now you're the number one. You was the assistant manager. Now you're the manager. So we need you to step up in this role and be that player. Oh, you had a rough night. So what? That's part of the game. So everything's not gonna go your way every day, every game. That's just how life works, man. But we need you to go when the game's not going your way. We need to still give that effort, go above and beyond, even though the game's not going your way. We still need you to do certain things. We still need you to do the little things. And unfortunately, George Pickens has never been that guy. When things don't go his way, he's disengaged, he's lazy, he doesn't care. It's just like he's just showing up. No, this is a job, you know. You gotta put your heart and your soul on the line every single time you play. You step on that field. You're supposed to give it everything, game in and game out, whether things are going your way or not going your way. Because now as owner, I'm thinking, do I really want to give you big time money? Do I really want to give you a Jamar Chase type contract? Um, a Justin Jefferson? Are you on them tiers of wide receivers? These are things I have to think about and assess when you're in a contract year. In a contract year, you have to go all out. You got to be the best player you could be the best of the best. You understand what I'm saying? There's no excuses. You can't have bad games. You can't do things like this in a contract year. Because teams are going to start second guessing and think like, is this man really worth this? Are we going to put up with this? Is this worth putting up with? Yeah, but then George Pickens did uh where is it? George Pickens responded. He said, "Oh, putting Jeezy music on is crazy." The name of that song. This is a team game. LMO, LMAO. I'm not the only one on the team. Stop being an analyst. Stop becoming an analyst and talking about one player when he playing a team's game. Lots of has to go right for explosive plays. And it's funny because I thought former players would know that, such as Richard Beep Sherman, who by the way ain't without the Legion of Boom. We all remember San Francisco, brother. Much love. Don't speak on me unless you know the game of football. As a foreign player, not a fan analyst, that's acting like a double team is not a thing, or certain bracket coverages don't exist. Knowing you played ball, which show me you a leech weirdo. Now Twitter gonna eat this up. Clouded world. First of all, this boy talk like he's special ed. That's number one. There's a lot of grammatical mistakes, comprehensive mistakes. A lot of things wasn't making sense. I blame George Bush for this. Yeah, this is yeah. You could tell he ain't go to class or pay attention that much. But back to what he's talking about. Basically, he's saying that he didn't like what Richard Sherman was saying about him, but what he's saying was true. The truth ain't always comfortable and pretty. Sometimes it's ugly and harsh. It is what it is. That makes the truth the truth. It shall set you free, good brother. But there's nothing wrong. Richard Sherman told you. What he was told you was there nothing but facts. He was spitting facts in that video. But yeah, I don't. This saga is gonna be real interesting. So now we're gonna switch to basketball and talk about the title of this video. My GOAT, LeBron, Ramon James, man. It was it was kind of a rough night. It was a bittersweet moment last night. Versus the Raptors. His streak has ended. Man, he had a one heck of a streak of 10 plus points. He finished with 8 points, I believe. I think it was 8 points he finished with. But the last time he was held under 10 points was January 5th, 2007. Some of y'all kids weren't even existing or thought of in 2007. I happen to be alive. So I do remember this. The iPhone wasn't even announced yet. Chris Paul was rookie of the year that year. And Mike Tomlin wasn't even the Steelers head coach. It was, who was it? It was who was the Steelers head coach at that time? It was not Howie Long. What's the brother's name? The Steelers head coach was let me see. Now I gotta find who was Steelers head coach because I'm really blanking on who their head coach was. Was it Mike Coward? No. It wasn't. I believe it was Bruce Arians that year. In 2007. I believe that was Bruce Arians was the head coach. Yeah, it was Bruce Arians was the head coach of the Steelers at that time. Nope, I lied. That was the OC. Read the wrong thing. Can't read. Uh-oh. Why can't I chat? Could help me out here. Who was the Steelers head coach in 2007? It was Bill Cowher. That's who it was. Why was I blanking on that? Bill Cowher was still the coach, and they were transitioning to Mike Tomlin at that time. That's who I was tripping. Bill Cowher, yep, that was their head coach. But anyhow, yeah, that was their head coach. But LeBron might be watched. Father Time might be catching up with him. That's a historical appearance. LeBron has more final appearances than games with single digit points. That's crazy. And the streak ended on a game-winning dime. Unreal. He has 10 final experiences, 9 games under 10 points. To play as long as LeBron has played, 20 plus years, and to have 9 games under 10 points is insane. We're going to talk about Bam being Bam, the nonsense he was talking. And they always say LeBron. Let's just watch this play before I tell y'all.
Reeves to James. Kick it. Corner. Rui to win the game. Rui wins it. And James gave him the basketball.
I've said it all the time I've seen LeBron play. He always makes the right play. He could have very easily tried to win that one on his own, but he sees an open.
Reeves to James.
Matter of fact, let's bring this video back up and let's really dissect this play. When LeBron he's at the top of the key. He drives the basketball. Drives. He sees a defender come his pause. He sees his defender in front of him. I don't know who this is. I don't know. I can't see. But he sees the defenders. Instead of LeBron keep driving to the basket, what does LeBron do? Drives. He knows that corner's open because they're in the zone. It looks like they're in a 3-2. Are they in the zone? No, they're not in the zone. But there's two men down here. So these two guys, one you have to worry about Aiden, and then you got that's either Connect or Reese, one of the white boys. I don't know which one it is. In the corner. But by him doing this, I don't know why Scotty Barnes is still up top. I don't know. I guess it wasn't fast enough. He's tracing at LeBron. So now his help defender has to come and pick up LeBron. So who's ever guarding Rudy had to leave their man, come over here, pause. LeBron, with his high basketball IQ, knows this man is that Rudy's open. Brandon Ingram has to leave DeAndre Jordan, passes to him, corner three, bucket. Now LeBron could have took that ball to the hole. Realistically, he could have used been selfish, like people say he is. He could have been a score first guy, try to get his 10 points and be a stat pattern, like some of you LeBron haters like to call him. But no, he did the high IQ play, and he gave Rui the ball. He hits the three. So LeBron cared more about winning that game than he did about his own personal stats. Because if he cared about his own personal stats, he would try to score. You understand what I'm saying? But yeah. January 6, 2007 to December 1st, 2025. This man had 1,297 games of scoring 10 plus points. Y'all know how crazy that is? That's an insane stat. There was something else I want to talk about real quick. Through 45 games, Jahmyr Gibbs has 5.5 yards per carry, which is more than Barry Sanders. He has 47 total touchdowns, which is more than Jerry Rice. And he has more total yards than Emmitt Smith, all in 45 games. That's ridiculous. Shout out to Jahmyr Gibbs. He's one of them and not them. Justin Jefferson might not get 1,000 yards this season. He needs approximately 800 yards with 5 games remaining. I don't think he needs to. I don't think he's getting 1,000 yards. I don't think it's a fall off. I think he's just not QB proof like everybody thought he was. J.J. McCarthy is one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. He might be worse than Anthony Richardson. As a matter of fact, he is worse than Anthony Richardson. He can't read a defense. His arm talent is very suspect, and his accuracy is piss poor terrible. Yeah, so I don't think Justin Jefferson fell off. It's just when you're playing with two trash quarterbacks, this is the result you're going to get. He's not QB proof. He's human after all. The Hornets are down so bad right now that their tickets are cheap. To free seats in the club and lower level, imagine being season tickets in top times for the Pelicans are $319. And it makes their situation even worse. They trade up to draft Derek McQueen, but with them doing that, their first rounder was unprotected and goes to the Hawks. So the Hawks now have a lottery pick because of the Pelicans. Shout out to the Pelicans organization, Joe Dumars, because at the rate you're going, you're going to have to trade everybody on this team. Trade Zion, see what you get for him. Trade DeJounte. I'm trading the whole team. Everything must go. I'm having a fire sale. I don't care. Jordan Poole, you gone. I'm trading everybody, man. Is there anything else in here I want to talk about? So, word on the street is Kawhi Leonard has negative value if the Clippers would try to explore trades because of his injury and the aspiration case still going. So right now, Kawhi is looking radioactive right now. So if you're a team, do you really trade for Kawhi Leonard? Because you don't even know how many games he's going to play. You'd be lucky if you get 40 games from him this season. You'd be lucky if you get that. Then the postseason, you'd be lucky if he plays your whole postseason run. So he's damaged goods. Kawhi will go down in history as one of the most perplexing and confusing superstars we have ever seen. His career is going to be looked at so weird and funny. It's just hard to explain it. Because we're talking about a player who has one of the best two-way plays we ever seen, one of the best playoff performances we've ever seen. We're talking about a guy who has a final MVPs under his belt. He won with 2 organizations. He was the best player on the Raptors, a team that a lot of people did not pick to win that year. The man has a depoy. Like, how do you assess his career? The man has less career points than a player of. He has less career points than Thaddeus Young. Like his career is just gonna be hard to assess and just rank. He has a very weird career because at the creme of the creme, when he was at the power is peaked at his peak in prime, Kawhi Leonard was a top 5 player in the league, top 3 player, however you want to look at it. He even has a year to say I was the best player in the world. He has that. He has a year of saying that. But he just has a weird career, man. Shout out to Hannah Hudaglo. I'm sorry I'm jacking up her name. Her name's very hard to pronounce. She has scored 10 plus points in every game of her collegiate career with 28 points versus Ole Miss. She has now tied with Angel Reese for the third longest double-digit scoring D1 record since the 2020-2021 season. Yeah, she a bucket. That's for sure, for sure. Let's see what else we're going to talk about. My goat's washed, man. LeBron actually, all right. This is a player choice thing, and I thought this was it.
He's 4 gold medals.
Shout out to my boy Ron, man. Shout out to my guy Ron. This is from the panel. Player's choice. There was this question. I wanted to answer, see what y'all thought of this. Shout out to my boy Ron, man. Shout out to Ron.
Which record is the most unbreakable? Wilt's 50-point game, KD's 4 gold medals, LeBron's scoring record, or Stockton's assist record?
Wilt's 50.
So the options was Wilt's 50-point game. No, averaging 50 points for a season. John Stockton's assist record. LeBron James scoring record, and KD's 4 gold medals. We can all agree the gold medals is the easiest one. We don't give a crap about that. That's the weakest one. Now between LeBron scoring record, John Stockton's assist record, and averaging 50 points a game. All 3 of them are like on the same tier. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. For you to break John Stockton's assist record, you need insane longevity. Both of those stats, LeBron James scoring record and John Stockton's assist record, those are longevity records. So for you to come in the league, this is how crazy this is going to get, right? John Stockton, his career, out of a 19-year career, may I add that too, he has played out of 1,504 games, he has played 1,300. So he roughly only missed about what? If my math is correct, like 204 games his whole career. We're talking about a guy whose majority of the seasons is playing 82 games. He only has 3 seasons where he did not play 82 games. In the 89-90 season, he played 78. In the 97-98 season, he played 64. In 98-99, he played 50. Outside those 3 seasons, the man played 82 games. We're talking about, and then on top of that, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 years of averaging 11 plus assists. From 1987-88 to 1995-96, he averaged a grand total of 13 assists. So from that, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. For a 9-year stretch, this man averaged a grand total of 13.1 assists. For you to come even close to that record, the John Sixton's assist record all time, for you to even come close to that, a player has to play 82 games. So he's going to have to be durable. He can't get no injuries. He has to be super durable. On top of being super durable, he has to have a stretch for 9 years of averaging at least averaging 13 assists. That That's cooked. You know how hard that's going to be? The man has 2 seasons averaging 14, 3 seasons averaging 13, and another 3 seasons averaging 12 assists. This is from a stretch. From a 9-year stretch, the man averaged 13.1 assists. With the way today's defenses are and players evolve, that's going to be near impossible. And then for the man, the myth, the legend, Wilt Chamberlain, the LeBron one, we already know that's going to be, you're going to have to play till you like 50 to hope to even catch that record. From that season, he averaged 50.4 points, which was his third year. Let's just look at his game log. I'm just curious about what his game log look like. Because it's probably some crazy games in that game log. Oh, we can't even get a game log. But for you to average 50, that means you got some 60-point games, some 75-point games, some 80-point games. So for you to have to maintain a 50 average, the man was probably giving you, that's just insane average. You're gonna have to have 100-point game, an 80-point game, have every point total above 50. You're gonna have to throw in there, which is insane. And then for LeBron James scoring record, you're gonna have to have John Stockton's durability. And then you're gonna have to have insane longevity. Because remember, for the LeBron James scoring record, we're talking about a guy. By the way, we're talking about a guy who averaged 20 plus points since walking into the league in 03-04, his rookie year. Then you have to maintain a 20-point average for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. For 22 years, you're going to have to average 20 plus points a game consistently. And on top of that, you have to be durable between those games. You have to be pretty durable. He played 1,562 games. You know how durable you got to be to play all them games? And on average, you're going to have to at least play 70 games on average to come even close to what LeBron did. So LeBron and Stockton is like 2 longevity records. So now we got 2 longevity records plus Wilt Chamberlain scoring. Well, I'm pretty sure his low scoring game might be 50 points. I don't know. I have to look in that season, but I'm pretty sure it's probably like 50 points something. But all 3 of them are impossible. It's up to y'all to say which one was the worst. I said the worst. Excuse me. Which one is the hardest? But if I had to choose one, that the hardest record that probably would never be broken is that Wilt Chamberlain 50. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Averaging 50? Yeah, you ain't seen that again. We seen 30, but you ain't seen somebody averaging 50. We haven't seen somebody average 40 since Wilt and them. I think the highest we ever got is what? 34 points by Jordan, maybe? If Jordan gonna do it, I mean, yeah. To average 50 is insane. I think that's, whenever we talking about Wilt Chamberlain record, the myth, the man, legend known as Wilt Chamberlain, yeah, it gets scary, it gets spooky. Let me add. We got another the panel.
What do you want to value with like the overall?
In the span of your life, how many guys can you honestly say that are better than Joker?
At their peak, Jordan, Shaq, and LeBron for sure. But then the Shaq question becomes like, what do you want to value with like the overall dominance of the era? Like, I'm cool either way with anybody else. You can't tell me outside of that list that there's anybody else that there's not an argument with, or he's just not outright better than. I think Kobe argument, Steph is an argument, Kevin Durant there's an argument. But outside of that, I mean, I don't know which other player is just outright better than what we're seeing from Joker right now.
Did you say Tim Duncan's name? or nah?
No, I did not. Respect to Tim Duncan.
In the span of your life, how many guys?
That is all-time Hall of Fame Jokic plays. The Swiper is overrating Jokic. Put him in a conversation he does not belong in. That is nasty. He just sat there outright lied like that. He said LeBron, Jordan, Shaq are the only three players that they peak. You can say better than Jokic. That is filthy and a lie. So you know what I did, right? I made a list. We like lists around here. We make lists. And I'm going to show y'all my list of players who peak over, who better than Jokic peak, in my opinion. So players who peaked higher than Jokic. And I'm putting on a list for all you guys to see. Oh, yeah. He said Jordan, Shaq, LeBron. Goes without saying. Giannis peaked higher than Jokic. Yeah, I said it. The scoring and the playmaking is comfortable. Like, you can say it's a gap, but it's not that big. So it's pretty comfortable. And we ain't going to even talk about that defensive gap because Giannis clears, wipes as a defender. Jokic as a defender is on the first floor. My man, Giannis is on the penthouse. All right, you understand what I'm saying? So, Giannis peaked higher than Jokic. SGA has peaked higher than Jokic. The scoring, comfortable. The playmaking, y'all can say it's a gap. I ain't mad at that. But offensively, it's comfortable. Again, it's close. Defensively, SGA clears. Clears. Jokic is a liability on defense. Kobe clears on defense. Scoring, I think Kobe's a better scorer than Jokic. You can make that argument. I'm saying Kobe's a better scorer than Jokic. The playmaking you can give to Jokic, I don't care. It's a gap. But once again, defensive gap is larger than that offensive gap. Wilt Chamberlain clears on both sides of the ball. I don't even have to say anything about Wilt. There ain't nothing to talk about. Tim Duncan? We talking about all-time great defender? You can say Jokic is better offensively. I really don't care. Defensively, Tim Duncan wipes and clears. Yeah, so give me Tim Duncan. Again, the defensive gap is bigger than the offensive gap. So give me Tim Duncan. Bill Russell peaked as a rebounder. He's a better rebounder than Jokic. Clears as a defender. All Jokic guys is offense. And we ain't gonna act like Bill Russell wasn't playmaking with his full court outlet passes. So, I mean, it's a conversation once again. But I will say this. As a scorer, Jokic clears. But then as a defender, Bill Russell clears. So, where's the middle ground? But give me Bill Russell. Kareem clears as a scorer and defender. Ain't nothing to talk about. And a rebounder, too. So, all Jokic is holding on to that playmaking. But they peaked higher than Jokic. Hakeem. Come on. What do I have to say about Hakeem? Like, come on now. KG, peaked higher. D-Wade, peaked higher. Westbrook, Harden, Luka, and Magic are all honorable mentions. I think they have a case. You could say they peaked higher than Jokic. It is what it is. But if you look at my list from, D-Wade peaked higher too, by the way. From 1 to 13, there's a common theme. And can y'all tell me what the common thing is? I'll give you a minute. The answer is that they're two-way players. That's the answer. So I'm going to tell y'all something that y'all might know or don't know about me in the way I look at the game of basketball. Two-way ability outweighs one-way ability when the one-way ability is close. So what do I mean by that? I'm going to give you an example of this. If I'm comparing SGA to Luka, right? Offensively, it's not a big gap. It's comfortable, right? But then when we talk about defense, SGA clears Luka. I'm gonna give you another one. Giannis and Jokic. Again, the offense is comfortable. I would say Giannis is a better scorer than Jokic. I think the playmaking is close, relatively close. Well, if you say it's a gap, sure, it's a gap. It's a small gap, but it's not huge, humongous. Then when we talk about defense, it's night and day, baby. Like, what we doing? So, for me personally, I don't care how great you are as an all-time offensive player. If I could find an offensive player that's close or comfortable to your level of offense, and he plays defense, I'm picking that guy 9 times out of 10. It's very rare. Because I know y'all gonna sit here and try to give me the crazy scenarios known to man. Y'all gonna say, oh, crazy shot. So you telling me you want to take Ben Wallace over Jokic? I never said that. That's not what I said. What I'm telling you is Ben Wallace clears as a defender, and then as an offensive player, Jokic clears. So in this case, I would take Jokic. Because as bad as he's as a defender, Ben Wallace is bad offensively. He brings no offense at all. Both of them are on a GOAT level offense and defense. They both on their own GOAT tiers in that perspective. But these are the 17 players I think peaked higher than Jokic. 13 are locks. 1 through 13 is a lock. Like, I don't know what to tell you. They peaked higher than Jokic. 14 and 17 is honorable mention. There's an argument to be made. But if you take Jokic, I ain't mad. Me personally, I can say they on the same tier as Jokic. I don't think it's clear. But yeah, that was nasty how that Jokic glaze, like that swiper did, was insane. He just glossed, just gave that man too much praise for that. Then when it comes to Shaq, I think Shaq clears. What am I looking at? Why am I in there? I think Shaq clears Jokic. I don't even think Jokic is a top 5. And you know what? Jokic ain't top 5 center all time. Quiet as a kid. No, hold on. I didn't even let y'all see the video. This man's swiping, man. I never seen somebody glaze Jokic like this. Like, he might be the king of glazing Jokic. Like, I don't think I ever seen this before in my life. This is just so nasty, bro. This is just filthy, filthy work, man.
Swiper, let's start with you. What else are you thankful for in the NBA?
I'm thankful for Stan Van Gundy saying Jokic might be the best player he's ever seen. I'm thankful for Steve Kerr saying he's the best center he's ever seen, Morris. I'm thankful for Kevin Durant saying he's top 10 ever as of last year. I'm thankful that every time we ask NBA coaches about him and NBA execs, it's the same thing, same story. And I'm thankful for NBA Twitter always being mad and getting upset about it.
Swiper.
That is Hall of Fame all-time Jokic glaze. Like, I just never seen that before. Like, do you want to give that man back his jock strap that you sniffing, dog? Because that's, like, for you to sit there and say that and blatantly lie to the people is insane. Why should we care about other opinions when we have our own opinions? Why do I care what Stan Van Gundy and Steve Kerr think? I don't care about them. They got their own opinions. I got my own opinions. They got their own brain. I got my own brain. I don't agree with what they say. It's like they don't got to agree with what I say. Why do the sports community always goes to other people's opinions to prove their opinions? No. Everybody don't think like you. Everybody doesn't value what you value. You understand what I'm saying? You are your own man. You form your own opinions. You have your own brain. Use it, good brother. Don't use other people's opinions to back up your opinions. Just state your opinion. Give your facts of why you feel that your opinion is correct or why you think the way you think. That's it. I don't care what them other people think. I don't care what Steve Kerr, Stan Van Gundy. I don't care. They can say my favorite player is the GOAT. They can say, oh, Westbrook the GOAT. And I would disagree with them because I don't believe that. Because I don't care what they say. I don't care their validation. At the end of the day, I'm my own man, my own human being. I have my own brain. I form my own opinions. So to get back to swiping, what you saying about Jokic, right? Jokic is not top 10. He ain't even close in the top 10, we're being honest. Giannis is closer to top 10 than Jokic is. When we talk about centers, right? I'm going to give y'all 5 centers. And I want y'all to tell me who's Jokic better than. We got, no order, Kareem, Bill Russell, Hakeem, Wilt Chamberlain, and Shaq. I'm going to say it again. And it's in no order. Kareem, Hakeem, Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Shaquille O'Neal, the Diesel. Which one of them centers is Jokic better than? He's cool at 6. And I honestly believe he's not going to jump none of them 5 players. There's no way he can jump 5 of them. And one of the reasons why is because his defense is so bad. If he was a better defender, then I could say he could probably jump over Shaq or somebody. But because that defense is so bad, has no value, he can't get over those 5. Mostly all the two-way, these are elite two-way centers that I named too. These are not like your regular, normal. These are Hall of Fame, two-way, creme de la creme centers. He's not top 10. And Steve Kerr, for you sit there and lie out your mouth and say that's the best center you ever seen with your 2 eyes. When you played against Shaq, it's filthy. You seen Shaq when he came to the league. You is a filthy, filthy individual. And that's why you're an overrated coach. But that's a conversation for another day. That's for another live. You still got CTE from when Michael Jordan punched you in the face. That's what happened to you. Your brain still scrambled still. You understand what I'm saying? Your brain still scrambled. You got some holes up there. Your brain might look like Swiss cheese right now. Because you still got CTE. For you to sit there out your mouth and say, according to Swiper, this is what Swiper said it. He's the best center you ever seen? When you seen a Shaquille O'Neal and played against a Shaquille O'Neal? Huh? What are we doing, bro? Is your brain not fried? You got scrambled egg up there, good brother? But that Swiper glaze has to stop, bro. Like, it's just nasty, filthy, just glaze, man. And KD, we ain't even gonna talk about him. We don't even care about his top 10 list. Right. This is just filthy work, man. These narratives you try to pass for a player is disgusting. Let me see. Then this probably be the last thing for today's show, real quick. Let me get this film up.
Player to step on the floor. I don't think he dominated an offense like Joker does. I don't think he dominated as a distributor, as a playmaker, as a bucket getter. I don't think he dominated an offense as well as Joker did.
So, Chill, do you think Jokic is better than Steph Curry?
Offensively, yes, I do.
Which means Shea's better than Steph Curry too, because you said Shea's better than Jokic.
I said Shea is better than him right now.
This is the best Jokic has been.
I've already said SGA is better than Curry today. Is he better than the best version of him? I would have to sit down and think about that, because when I think about the 2015, 2016 Steph Curry, how dangerous he was. Is SGA that dangerous? Does SGA affect the game that much as Curry did?
I'm going to tell you something about 2015, 2016 Steph. And this gets swept under the rug whenever we're talking about him. I don't know why y'all just sweep this underneath the rug. Let's talk about that 2015 stack. That is the first ever unanimous MVP. No, hold on. Now my computer's tripping. All right, here we go. (2015-2016) Steph. That's the year he won the unanimous MVP, correct? Let me double check. Yes. First ever unanimous MVP. Let me tell you about that 20. Which year was that? Yeah, 2015-2016 Steph. Because this is something that people don't talk about. That versus Steph. All right. No, hold on. Let me stop sharing my screen. So we're gonna have a serious conversation about it. That version of Steph, right? Was up 3-1 versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. That man in that series, he averaged 22 points, 40% from field, 40% from three. He dropped in that series. Well, I mean, dropped from his regular season average to the finals, he dropped. Then let's go into the games. From games 5 through 7. Game 5, Steph had a good game. Shout out to Steph. Game 6. Game 6, Steph Curry had a great game. Yeah, another good game. But that game 7, when he got outplayed by Kyrie and LeBron James, this was a horrible game. He had 17 points. He shot 28% from 3 and 31 from the field. That man's true shooting was 43%. And which I never understood to this day. I will never understand this. That game 7, Draymond was cooking. The man had 32 points, 15 rebounds, and 9 assists. He was shooting 73% from the field, 75% from 3. And he had a 95 true shooting. That version of Steph that y'all can say was the best, what some of y'all was the best player in the world. You cannot be the best player in the world when you just gave up a 3-1 lead. That is inexcusable. And then in that game 7, you played like mucho galicente basura. You played horrible. That was a bad games by a superstar caliber player. That was a bad game by Steph. He severely underperformed. Now we talking about SGA and his MVP season, which was 24-25. The man averaged 32 points. In the playoffs, he averaged 29. So, well, I'm rounding off to 30. So he averaged about points less. 3 point, you round 2 points less, whatever. And in the finals, what did he do versus Indiana? He averaged 30, shooting 44 from the field, 24 from 3. He had a true shooting of, what was his true shooting? What was this brother's true shooting? 56%. That version of Shea, 25-26. Oh, is that 25-26? 24-25 version of Shea is better than that version of CP3. I said CP3. It's Steph Curry. I'm gonna tell you why. Offensively, he was better. He was just as dangerous as Steph, if not more dangerous. He was a better scorer than Steph. He was better in the playoffs than Steph. And he did something that Steph didn't do ultimately that year. He won the championship as the number one option of his team. While that man Steph folded like a paper plane. So yes, SGA is better than Jokic. Yes, SGA is better than a unanimous MVP Steph. Yes, the best version of SGA is better than both them, the best versions of both them players. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for staying for another great episode. Y'all know where to find me on YouTube at Crazy Shot Universe, on Instagram at Crazy Shot _Talk Sports, and on TikTok at Crazy Shot Josh. Shout out to the 26 people that's in here. Thank you for listening to my rant. Thank you for being here. I appreciate y'all. And y'all know I'm going to tell y'all, be easy, be safe out here. I will see y'all next week on Thursday for another great show. So make sure y'all tune in, turn on my notifications, make sure you sub, make sure you follow me, make sure you send this to your friend, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your cousin, your auntie, your uncle, your enemy, your frenemy, whatever you want to send it. Send it to everybody, anybody. And you know what I'm about to tell you. I'm your favorite TikToker's favorite TikToker, your favorite content creator, I'm out of here.